Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another day in my life. So is everyone ready for another super exciting day on our little homestead in the city? Today I'm bringing you along for all of the gardening that we did, which is super exciting by the way, because we are working on a fall garden that's kind of potentially a failed experiment, but it's still been super fun for us. And as usual, I'm also going to share the different foods that I ate. And spoiler alert, the foods today were really good. Now in today's video, I'm working with CVS and I'm super excited because CVS is encouraging people to do something I believe in, which is treating themselves well by practicing self-care and proactive wellness and really pursuing that on a regular basis. Now self-care obviously means different things to different people. It's very unique to our own personalities and lifestyles, but CVS believes that it's a super important part of everyday health for everyone, regardless of your age, your gender, or your income. So yeah, I'm super excited to show you what I picked up from there today. Last but not least, don't forget to check the info box for today's semi-secret but not actually secret giveaway. And those are all of the announcements. Let's hop right in. So I'm starting off this day with a smoothie. I had some kale that was going to be going bad soon if I didn't use it. So I wanted to get it rinsed off, and I actually put part of this in the smoothie and I put part of it in bags to freeze to use for later. Now today I decided to add a scoop of these Nativa's Organics goji berries, and I'm a big goji berry fan. They're what people would call a superfood because they are so high in antioxidants. So they're great for helping support your body in the fight against free radicals and just supporting our cells. The cool thing is I picked this up at CVS, which is really convenient and amazing to me that you can get goji berries at CVS. I also picked up this bulletproof brain octane oil. I'm a big fan of healthy fats. I also like putting fats in my smoothies. I feel like it helps to keep me fuller longer. So because I'm all about pumping up my smoothies, I also put this Ancient Nutrition multi-collagen protein powder into my smoothie as well. And I also got this at CVS. Another thing that I added in was this packet of Wasatch, I think that's how you say it, nectar raw honey plus electrolytes packet. And I tasted a little bit before I put it in and it was so good on its own. Electrolytes I think are especially helpful during pregnancy. So it was cool to add this in, and I picked up all of those add-ins at CVS. So can we just pause and think about how amazing it is that CVS is conveniently located everywhere, and you can find such a huge variety of all kinds of innovative and, dare I say, exciting self-care and proactive wellness solutions to not only treat yourself well, but the people that you love well as well. So just to back up, I pretty much added a mixed berry blend and a couple of frozen mango pieces into the smoothie as my fruit base. And then I just added water. I like just water when I'm having frozen fruit smoothies sometimes. So that is what I did today. Side note, while this is blending up, if you haven't heard me talk about some of the brands that CVS is now carrying, some of them include Ancient Nutrition, Be Well Teas, Manuka Guard, Tone It Up, Vital Proteins, and literally so much more. They have expanded their wellness selection like crazy. And all of these wellness products are being carried to help support you in a bunch of different ways: physical, mental, emotional, and social health. Now on the side with my smoothie, I wanted some avocado toast. Who's surprised? Raise your hand if you already knew this was coming. So I toasted up some sourdough. I added a little bit of butter, and then I added some avocado, of course, the star of this toast. Someone actually sent me a recipe the other day, by the way, for mushroom toast. And I just want to throw it out there. I really like mushroom toast a lot too, but there's something about avocado toast, like the fat of the avocado. It's just so good. But you will probably be seeing me make mushroom toast soon because people are calling it like the new avocado toast. Anyways, that was a side tangent. I added some lemon juice on top, and then I also added a little bit of goat cheese. You guys pretty much know this recipe. This is one of my go-to avocado toast breakfasts. I've been obsessed with this particular kind for like a year, I'd say. So I added chili pepper flakes, a little bit of olive oil, and chunky sea salt on top. And that's it. Basic, good, delicious, yummy, all of the positive words. All right, everyone, so we are making our way outside to our garlic bed. So if you saw the video where we planted garlic, the garlic has actually started to sprout and grow super fast, but we did have to put a little net over the top because squirrels were trying to dig up our garlic cloves, so that was annoying. But yeah, we just went outside and kind of checked on everything to see how it was growing. And I'd say probably 70% of the things we've planted are growing. So I have like parsley. These are actually little carrot tops. So at this point, they hadn't really grown and the squirrels had dug up a couple random ones. So Dan like pulled that little leaf to show you, look, there's nothing happening here. But the fact that there's green growing at all, especially since we're pretty convinced we planted everything way too late, it's just exciting to see anything growing. By the way, that is a garlic shoot coming up. And so pretty much every single bulb we planted is doing that. So it's very exciting. And a couple of our broccoli and cauliflower are still staying and growing as well. So I'm like really excited to continue to monitor the garden to see what, if anything, stays alive. Remember, everyone, we don't actually know what we're doing with all of this gardening and planting. We're just kind of experimenting, having fun, and learning as we go. Like, we're not in a rush. We just want to keep the education of all of this moving forward. So, yeah. Now, Dan decided to take down our little, what is this called? Like trellis overarch hanging thingy that he had up for the spring and summer garden because there were so many vines that needed to go places. We just vined it up around the top, but he took it down for winter because nothing that we're growing is going to need that, we don't think. And yeah, thanks, Dan. Shout out to you. So then I made my way inside and I thought I would show you kind of what has been going on in here. This is the current status of my spring onions that I bought at the grocery store and I'm currently regrowing. That is my favorite life hack, putting those in water and under a light source. They will grow back like multiple times. And this is my garden. Now I've been harvesting a ton of salad and cilantro lately, and I'm like living my best life. My midwife actually just told me recently to make sure I'm getting in tons of greens. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm growing so many greens in my seedling tray as well as my tower garden. I think for the first time in 2 years of using my tower garden, I'm about to have a good rhythm down where I will have tons of greens. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty excited about it because I'm feeling hopeful. All right, everyone. So get ready for a recipe that I've never made and an ingredient that I've like never really used. So this is a fresh butternut squash that we picked up at the store. And yes, we will definitely try to grow this next year now that I like know about this vegetable and know that I like it. It's very sweet. I will fast forward and say that, but this soup is amazing. So this is basically a copycat recipe of something that I think her channel is called like Homestead on Boone, Farmstead on Boone. Her name is Lisa, and she made something like this, and I was just so intrigued. So I started off by cutting open the butternut squash, as you saw, and then I took this spoon and I scooped out all of the seeds and the inside part that I wasn't gonna eat, and I did that in both halves. Then I decided to grab a couple of sweet potatoes that we have from our garden. You guys know, for us, we produced a ton of sweet potatoes. Like, the farther I get into the homesteading thing, the more I realize how like small of an amount of food that we actually are producing at this point, but I was really impressed with us. So we have a lot of sweet potatoes. I decided to use 2 in this recipe. I scrubbed them off and then just chopped them up. I'm basically prepping veggies to roast in the oven, and these were the main veggies I wanted to roast: the butternut squash, the sweet potatoes, and that is a Vidalia sweet onion that I chopped like the top off of. So then I put all of my veggies onto a baking tray. And then I took some coconut oil and I just kind of smeared it with my little brush thingy all over all of the veggies, because coconut oil has a lower like smoke point than olive oil. And I still like using olive oil sometimes, but I'm trying to start using more coconut oil. And then I sprinkled some red chili pepper flakes as well as some salt and a little bit of pepper all over the veggies. Then I threw them in the oven. I want to say I did something around like, I don't know, 400 degrees, 30, 40 minutes. You guys know cooking is not really a science, so you can easily look all this stuff up. I kind of guess a lot as I go. Anyways, while all of that was roasting, because this was actually earlier in the day, so I knew this was going to be for dinner, but I needed to make lunch. So I decided to make a chickpea salad, which you guys know I'm a big fan of. So I had some canned organic garbanzo beans. So I rinsed those, threw those in the bowl, crushed open a clove of garlic, which everybody, I really hope that our garlic garden works and we are eating our own garlic next year, because I'll be really excited if I get that wish. Then I took a couple of scoops of some Greek yogurt, I believe, on this day. And then, you know, I had to take a ton of lemon juice and add that to the mix as well. Next up, I took a jalapeno and I cut out the center and then chopped it up into little pieces. I am a big spicy food fan. Then I took a little bit of purple onion that I had left and I diced that up to throw into the salad as well. You guys know I like adding some kind of fruit to my chickpea salads or my tuna salads. That is what I did next. I chopped up this red apple that I had on hand. I think that the sweet crunch of the fruit with a generally savory kind of dish is a really good contrast. You guys know I'm a big flavor mixer. Then I took this little mashed potato masher thing, we'll call it that, and I pretty much just mashed everything together. Then I added a little bit of salt and pepper. So we had bought some salad from the store, so even though I have a ton of Tower Garden lettuce now that's ready, this was like last week when I didn't have as much, and so I used the salad. Then I added the chickpea salad that I had made. As well as some diced up bell pepper. And then I also added these honey garlic balsamic carrots that I had roasted the night before and I had left over. I just decided to throw that onto the salad as well. And then I chopped up some tomato because I'm the #1 tomato fan. And then I also cut up a little bit of fresh cilantro. So then, because I'm looking for any excuse to add goat cheese to anything, you know that I used more goat cheese in this salad. And yes, it was amazing. Goat cheese is so good in my opinion. I also had a little bit of leftover chimichurri sauce at this point. I've been just using any excuse to also put chimichurri on anything. And then I added a scoop of my homemade balsamic honey mustard vinegar stuff. I'm kind of grossed out by how much of a flavor mixer I am. Is that weird? Like watching it, I feel like this shouldn't be good, but it's so good. To me, it's so good. By the way, whenever I'm feeling good stomach-wise, I try to get some of my vitamins in, so I ended up taking my vitamins with this meal, and I did have a little sourdough toast on the side because I'm also sourdough toast's #1 fan in life. It's so good. So now fast forward, this is much later in the day after my veggies were done roasting. So I took the outer layer off of the onion, and then I just kind of experimented with how to get this butternut squash out of the skin. I had no idea like what I was doing. Maybe in retrospect, I should have just used a spoon or something. But at the time, I thought it was a good idea to like cut it out. I don't know. Like I said, I've never worked with fresh butternut squash to my recollection. And I was just kind of figuring it out, you know, one step at a time. So I cut it out of the skin and then I diced it up into little pieces because I'm going to be putting this into a pot with some veggie broth to make into a soup, everyone. So I needed it in like little chunks so I could fit it in the pot and also blend it. I put in this organic veggie broth and then I threw in all of my roasted veggies. At this point, I also crushed some fresh garlic. Honestly, I probably should have just roasted my garlic too. That would have been really good, thinking about that now. And then I just kind of stirred everything together, added a couple of bay leaves to the mix. I also added a scoop of butter, just thought that was a good idea. And then I let it all just sit and simmer for a while. Now, I wanted to go over to the living room to show you what's going on with my lemon tree and also show you how relaxed Zoe looks. She loves chilling in her bed, and I think she really likes the little purple light being in there. So every once in a while, I feel like my crystal apple that my grandma gave me has to make an appearance in this video to remind us all to appreciate the little things, because honestly, rainbows are amazing. I just want to throw that out there. So I decided I wanted to get a couple more close-up shots of my tower garden so you could see like just more of what was going on. My chives are finally growing in thicker. My lettuces, like I said, are all doing well. And look at my basil plant. This is only my second successful indoor basil plant. So I'm pretty excited that that has been growing, and I've been pruning it to try to make it give more like offshoots of basil. Anyways, I wanted to show you that. And then also on this day, I decided to start a whole new like tray of seedlings. Now I already had a tray going, but because I'm trying to learn how to like max out my tower garden and keep the rotation fast and abundant, which is surprisingly harder than it seems, at least to me, to understand the rotation of everything and when things die and when you've cut it till when it's not going to grow back. So I'm kind of just trying to get a lot more going. So another thing that I wanted to do is actually clean up my tower garden. Now, something that kind of happens with these is they get kind of this calcium, I don't know, mineral buildup on the outside, and it's not super pretty. And I'm actually like worried, is it, I don't know, like if I just let it sit, if it'll do something to it. So every once in a while, I try to give it a good wipe down. I'd say maybe like once every 2 to 4 weeks, I'll wipe it down. All right, now this is extremely random, although I guess not. I feel like nothing in these videos, I guess, is that random. Besides the fact that there's my belly, that's what's going on right now. I wanted to show you this little strap that I got at my chiropractor's office, and it's basically a very low brace for the lower half of my back. I think it's called the sacrum, I can't remember, sacroiliac joint or something like that. And it's been really great for when I need to be on my feet for an extended period of time, because I feel very loosey-goosey right now, like everything's just loose. So this has been great, and my chiropractor actually prefers this to a full belly support because she thinks I will have an easier time recovering if I'm not using a brace on the entire belly. Okay, so now you're coming with me to piano practice. Woo woo, very exciting times. I play a lot more than I share with you guys, but I slowly want to start sharing more. I don't really know why I don't share a ton. It just doesn't occur to me. So, and then every once in a while I'll just be practicing and I'll be like, oh, I record. So that's what this is. So there we go. Once I was done practicing piano, I made my way downstairs to check on the soup, and in my opinion, it was done. So I took out the bay leaves, and then I used my hand immersion blender, which I'm obsessed with. This thing is amazing, and if you're considering getting one, I highly recommend it. I will have a link to mine in the info box down below. But yeah, I just used this to puree it up. I'm sure I'm going to be using this a lot when I make my own baby food as well, because that's what this looks like, let's be real. But yeah, so I blended that up, and then I added in some heavy whipping cream, a little bit of olive oil, and I don't know if that was like wine or water. I'm not sure. I tend to just cook and add stuff, but I added all that in, gave it a nice little stir. And then ladled it into 2 bowls. Dan and I both really like to cook, so sometimes I'm cooking for both of us, sometimes I'm just cooking for me, sometimes he's cooking for us, and on this night, he wanted to try this soup because I've literally never made anything like this. So then I grated up some fresh Parmesan cheese. You guys know I prefer to grate all of my cheese as opposed to have it pre-grated because of the coating that tends to be on pre-grated cheese. And then, guys, I actually pulled these chives from my tower garden on this night, so I was very excited for that. Anytime I can eat anything that I've grown, it just feels like a party. So Dan chopped up the chives for me. And that was our delicious dinner. It was not only so good on this night, but I actually got to freeze a couple servings for later. And now I still have some in the freezer. I've actually had a serving out of the freezer since then. And yeah, I just love freezer cooking. So that is it, guys. I want to thank CVS again for sponsoring this video. I'm really excited with what they're doing as a company in the promotion and the care of us taking interest in self-care, because I truly think that preventative health and wellness is so important, mentally, physically, all of the above. So yeah, don't forget to check the info box for today's giveaway. Please give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. It really helps my channel out, and I just appreciate it. So with that being said, I will hopefully see you guys very soon with another new video, and that's all. Bye.